Welcome back to Ranma Half, the 2024 edition. And, basically, this is Ranma Half and review episode 31. A reviewing the third episode of the 2024 reboot of the series called Because It's a Girl He Likes. Now, this title is taken from the English translated title of Chapter 8. Yes. Yes. Now, this episode covered chapters 6 through 9, which, if you're really curious, what episodes of original anime this covered? If you're really curious. Okay, so the episodes originally in the original anime this covered was, get this. Okay, so it covered episodes 4 through 6. So it's like, okay, so the first episode is a remake of the first episode of the original series. The second episode is a remake of episodes 2 and 3. And this one is basically a remake of episodes 4 through 6. And covering 4 chapters. So they spread out, of course, the thing is they had to add a lot of filler. This episode, they made changes, per se. But they actually cut out all the filler that was the original series. So the episode opens up with Ranma in a hot spring, which, look up at the original anime, he was in a bathtub, and someone comes in the water. You think, oh, is that Akane coming out? No, it's Kuno with a bouquet of flowers. And then Ranma wakes up in his bed, and then apparently it's yeah, and Mincho, yeah. And then, of course, basically, he gets distracted by her, and they're late for school because he said some stuff because she's not cute, and drags him off, and basically they race off the school, and then of course they knock out the guys who basically want to, let's just say, be her boyfriend. And then Kuno proceeds to, and of course Nabe proceeds to sell pictures of Rama in his girl form and pictures of Akane to Kuno because he obsessed with both of them. And so he challenged Ranma to a fight because he really wants the girl, though he ends up, get this. So Ranma hides after he gets splashed with water, which, yes, that is a gag. Somebody will randomly splash cold water. In Japan, this is a weird thing I've seen in live action where people go outside, take this bucket of water, take this little thing, and I think it's the guy with spirits, I think it is. From America's perspective, some people might think it's a little weird, but it's a cultural thing. But as for dumping a bucket of water off a balcony on top of a student like that, yeah, this makes no freaking sense. I mean, yellow makes sense, basically, cultural perspective, but this is just plain dumb. And of course, Ranma hides in a tree that Kuno proceeds to chop down with a wooden sword. Yes, a wooden practice sword that he carries with him, proceeds to chop it in half. And of course, he hugs basically Go Ranma. Then of course, Akane proceeds to magically appear out of thin air a golden pot. And of course, Kuno proceeds, and of course, still hugging Ranma. He's in his girl form. And of course, Ranma's get off me. And of course, trying to duel. He gets a bit distracted, proceeds to beat Kuno really easily by kicking him 20 times. Also bruises his side too. Then of course, basically, oh yeah, I'm not hurt. And of course, they go see Dr. Tofu, of course. And of course, they heal up his injuries, and apparently his joints messed up. So then, the very next day, we have Ranma and his father practicing, and they fall in the water, cold water, and of course Ranma does not have a sense of sensibility because her father walks by. Akane's father walks by Shun and sees Ranma, girl Ranma, with topless. Now you might be thinking, in girl form, why doesn't she have nipples? Which, in the case of how the anime presented, I don't think it's really necessary, given the fact they're adapted from an 80s manga. And the anime is trying its best to basically capture that feel, which it does it really good. And that's why we don't see nipples on her. Ranma when he is girl form. Because I'm sure that the writer probably didn't think it was necessary. Despite the fact that when she did Inuyasha, she did do that. When we saw girls topless in that one, we saw nipples. Because the writer Ranma half is in fact a woman. Which, of course, I don't think she writes manga anymore. I don't know if she doesn't. The last one she did was Ren. I think it was some other manga. It wasn't that for anime. I mean, like, a lot of her manga were adapted for anime. The only manga that I've seen was fully adapted, like, all the way through. Like, read up, look up online. It was, like, 2 or 3. And one of them was Mermaid Saga. Would adapt all but, like, one chapter of the whole series. And the series wasn't even complete. It is by far the weakest series I've basically watched. It basically said from her work. And it's, like, 20 episodes. I got there pretty quickly. It was by far the quickest anime I had ever gotten through. Inuyasha took me a while because, well, it's Inuyasha. So, basically, of course, Akane finds out about the pictures, and of course, scolds his older sister basically about it, and of course, the next day, and of course, well, Ron basically, he says, like, oh, because basically she's named for Dr. Tofu. Jackson's, of course, wait. And of course, he's in girl form, and of course, guys, like, and of course, Kuna proceeds to basically just take his bandages off, like, oh, girl, it's kind of remember girl form, like, and of course, like, what do you want, a peek? Oh, yeah, and also, Kasumi, Akane's eldest sister, like, yeah, they don't say exactly what's going on, so then, of course, they just happen walking home after school, when they run, by the way, Rama's father, Genta, he got a job, working at Dr. Tofu's clinic, which, in the original series, he was there for a good chunk of it, but that's nothing here. Now, the biggest thing with this episode, it introduces a very popular gag in the series. Well, a gag that appeared a lot in the original series. So, he, of course, basically is, well, just there to... Well, he's there because Akane hit him with a baseball. And, of course, the guy is like, ooh, how far did you get with Akane? And he's like, we haven't done anything. And, of course, the guy thinks they must have slept together. They haven't. They sleep in separate rooms because it's Japan. And, of course, he was distracted, hit the face with a baseball, which, yes, that would hurt. Have I hit baseball? No. I've been hit with football, a basketball, and a frisbee. And a volleyball. Yes, I've been hit with all of these. And it's not comfortable to hit with these balls at all. Moving on. So, at the limit, and then, of course... gets a phone call. It's like, oh, there's a girl who basically that Dr. Tofu likes is arriving, and it's Kasumi. And here's the gag. Dr. Tofu's glasses proceed to fog up, so he can't see anything, acts completely irrational, breaks Ranma's neck, and, like, tries the cookies, and his neck is, like, partially fixed by the end of the episode, still not fixed. Yeah, and, well... Akane reveals to him that he's in love with her older sister. And the thing is, Kasumi is an airhead. That's how she's presented. And she is oblivious to the fact that this doctor's got feelings for her. Yep. And that's the gag they introduce here. It's like, no character, it's a gag. Just like the whole water thing, basically. Like, anytime Rama's near cold water, either he falls into cold water, or people dump cold water on him, and he turns to a girl, and people manage to bring out these golden teapots and proceed to turn it back to a guy. Instead of doing the bath thing. So, you might be thinking, are we going to have new characters soon? Not for a while. Those are probably thinking, okay, so, here's an interesting question. Now, in the original series, Ranma has fiancés. A total of 3, plus like one girl who's interested in him. Now, there is Shampoo. Now, she of course does not appear until chapter 30 in the manga, so might not see her for a little bit. You're like, okay, so there is also Kuno's sister. I'd say she probably the next one to appear. Given the fact, well, I'd say she probably will be. In the manga, she debuted in chapter 17. But there is one Era 1. There is Uriko. And she, of course, does not appear in the manga chapter 85. So we won't see her for quite a while in this series. So if you want to think of, like, who could be this character to appear, it's going to be Kuno's sister. Yes. But what about their father? He will not arrive for quite a while. Like, yeah. Here's the thing. In the manga, he does not make his debut until chapter 114. Okay, there's another character named Ryoga. Yes. I'd say he'd be the next character to debut. I'd say probably with the very next episode, he'll probably show up. Which is going to be interesting. So I think that he'll probably be the next one to show up here. But I don't have a title for the next episode yet. Like, yeah, no announcement exactly what episode 4 is going to be called, but I think that Ryoga will show up next episode. So, yeah, I think he will, given the fact that his chapter's probably next. And I guess probably after him will be Kuno's sister. I think so. It depends on how much they adapt, per se. Yep. Oh, and so overall in 3 episodes, they have already remade 6 episodes so far. Yes. Here's a question. Like, how much are you going to adapt next episode? If I would take a guess, I would probably say it might go through 2 episodes next week. Maybe 3. It depends upon what the studio does. Yep. So, yes, that's been pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do the like button. Well, with that, I am all caught up with my anime. Unlike last week, or it happened to be on Wednesday, this time is Monday, which is fantastic. So, next 2 anime will not premiere until Wednesday, which is ReZero. And there's one on Thursday, being Izuru Girl's Dungeon. We have Saturday, I'm going to do the final episode of My Hero Academia, Season 7. I'm going to do One Piece fan letter. And if, in fact, next episode Ranma comes out that day, I'll cover it. Because, okay, it's close Saturday. So, what about tomorrow? Probably give some comic corners, maybe. Or maybe I might start a new anime. Who knows? You'll find out tomorrow, okay? Next video. Bye.